everybody. So I finished my Beastmen gore unit. That was the bulk of my challenge for this year. I still have one more thing to do, and I'll get to that in a moment. Getting close to the end of April, I feel like I've primarily completed what I set out to do, and hopefully I'll actually have the giant that will be this guy done by the end of April. But if you know, it doesn't have to be. Our challenges don't have to be done by the day of April finishing. It's just sort of when we started, and we actually ended up, in all fairness, starting late into the month. We weren't even, I'm not sure when it was. I don't think it was, if we might have started talking about it at the end of the first week, but we didn't really start the first week. And so I hope you enjoyed the display in the beginning. This isn't a final display here. I actually wanted to show just a line of the shields that I worked on. I really enjoyed this. I like some better than others, but this was a real good learning experience for me, and I am going to be trying to do more of these in the future. I really liked the ones that actually were the most Beastman-like and less sort of demonish, like, were the ones that I sort of liked the most for this army. I really enjoyed trying to think of how like Beastmen sort of chaos shields could look. And really, it wasn't that hard. I mean, I just kind of did it on the go. I didn't really plan it out at all. I just started painting and just putting stuff down and saying, okay, this one's going to be a Minotaur, so Minotaur. This one's going to be this. This one, I'm going to try this, and it evolved into something. And so I will focus in here. And so I have this one here, which was meant to be a bit more of just it was meant to be just more of like a face that it just sort of evolved into that, and I gave it fangs. Jankmaster said it's the Chewbacca one. This one was meant to be a bear sort of mouth, you know, with jaws opening with the big nose on the top, but it could be considered anything, I suppose. But I just kind of artistically just went for like a big close-up into a mouth, like a beast-looking mouth. This one is probably my most pleasant surprise. I really like this one, and I just sort of did it haphazardly. I was like, I'm going to do kind of like an Ungor little head with horns coming up, and that's what I started with. And it just came into this really creepy looking thing that, like Ungor, I just love it. It's one of my favorites of them. This was one of my first ones that I did here, meant to be an Ungolid, like I said in another video. Kind of turned into a really deep, demon, creepy, perhaps Ungolid looking face. This one's a more recent one that I did in the recent group. Just wanted to do something with a bird in it, because the Beastmen, you know, really are meant to be all kinds of beasts, and I just thought something like with a bird face on it would be kind of cool. Love my spooky Minotaur. I felt that he's one of the... He might be the spookiest, freaked out looking one in the group. I just think the expression is really kind of cool with the eyes. This one was probably the most challenging as I started it as to what I was going to do. I wanted something with ram horns, but like, you know, sort of on a round shield was kind of hard unless you really shrink it in. So I decided to make the horns go out of the border of the shield and come back in. And in the end, I think he looks the most Beastmanish in some ways. Like, he looks really feral looking, but has that human face too, like component of with the features. And I just, yeah, I really like that one. I think that that would be one that would be hard for me to replicate. You know, it would be something that it just has to work out as I'm doing it, you know, and I thought it was really cool. That's the first one I did of a demon face, and I really quite like it. I think it came out better than the second one that I did with to the right of it, of a different expression. But I still I still like them. They're sort of like your classic demon face kind of look. And then lastly, this one I really like too, a bit of a ghostly kind of look of a weird looking Beastman with a weird kind of thing on his head, and I just thought it came out kind of cool. Considering the miniature that he's with is sort of tall and slender, and so is the shield, I thought it was like a neat one to try. So overall, really happy with the way these came out. They pulled together really nicely. I think they have a different look to some degree than the Mordheim ones I did, and in some ways I prefer this look. The other ones are a bit more outlandish and cartoonish, where these ones I think are going to be a style that I could carry through, that I'd like to carry through with my entire army collection. So yeah, really happy with it. Really happy for everybody. This isn't the last video for Musty Wargamers, but I'm really happy to see the progress of everybody's Musty Wargamer projects. I've been following along. Just as an aside, when I mentioned the difference, you can see here, this is one of my this is a brown one of a Mordheim Beastman that I had for reference as I was doing stuff. And think you might be able to see that there is definitely a different look between how I did them. Now this guy looks just very fantasy oriented with this blue, more like a high fantasy, I think, kind of look maybe. More traditional in the way I've done these. And so yeah. And yeah, so next up will be this giant. Now that I've got the light shining right down here, you can see him a little better. Really looking forward to painting this guy. One of my favorite giant sculpts ever. I just realized, because he was black and I hadn't looked closely, that he had a spike through his club. I never quite noticed that before. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, to put this guy next to my other one, that cloud giant that I did. All right. Thanks for following along the project for those that are, and talk to you later.